walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
All right, Sean Lane here with Pro Wrestling Enforcer Podcast, and sitting to my right we have the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. We're here in Crown Point, Indiana for Black Label Pro Fantasy Wrestling. And Josh, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm not dressed very fancy. I mean, if the camera could show my shorts, you would see that I'm very fancy. But on this, I just look very plain and kind of like a slob, unfortunately. I'm good though, man. Thank you.
Yes,
we
no worries.
Get to do this. We finally get to do this.
Yes, absolutely. And I definitely have a lot of questions for you. But we'll talk about AXS TV. Now airing Impact Wrestling, and on the first episode, you started off the first match with Murafuji. So how important was that just to kick things off for you?
Well, for me, it was like just cool because I got to wrestle Murafuji, right? But it was like in hindsight, when after the show happened, it was like I was just a tag team guy. I was new to the company, maybe like 7 months in, and it was just like looking back on it, it was like the company trusted me at that point to wrestle this like legend and have a dependable match, the first match people are going to see on AXS and stuff. So it was like an honor, I guess, is like the best way I can say it, that they would trust me with that spot. It's all like kind of snowballed from there to where we are now. So.
Definitely, and congratulations on winning the Impact World Championship, now a two-time Impact World Champion. Talk about how that all came together and how you felt like you had the perfect opponent in Moose. It was a great storytelling, told throughout, and how it just came together for you to be one of the guys who are going to win that championship.
Yeah, you can go out there and you can have good matches. It's not to be like braggadocious or anything, but I can have good matches with a lot of people. I've had been fortunate enough to be put in there with one-off matches and Impact with all these guys and have a lot of good praise behind it and stuff like that. But to make it if we left it at me beating Christian, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a great moment. People would have been excited for it, but the way it turned about, we made this adversary out of Moose, and we made this mountain I have to climb, and made it that much harder for me, that much more difficult now that it's all paid off after Rebellion. Moose was like you said, the perfect opponent for me as a baby face, the face of Impact Wrestling to finally have to overcome, and we finally did it in a roundabout way after 6 months of hard work, and I can't be happier, right?
Definitely, and I'm sure that was a big moment for you, but professional wrestling doesn't stop. There's no off season, so there's always the next show. So you have Slammiversary coming up in July.
Yeah, Slammiversary, the 20-year anniversary of Impact Wrestling. I'm pretty pumped because, I watched the Wednesday night pay-per-view the very first night. I think it was June 19th, 2002. Yeah, so, roundabout way now, as somebody that ordered it as a 15-year-old kid, watching with my friends, to now be the world champion representing the company, probably main eventing that show on the 20th anniversary. It's just, I would say it's a dream come true, but it's nothing I ever dreamed would be possible. So.
Definitely, and you also had a nice run with the Impact Championship. Talk about that, working with some smaller wrestlers, some smaller talent, in size, obviously, but, just still, tremendous.
You mean the X Division Championship?
Yeah.
The X Division Championship, the X Division, just period, was the thing that got me hyped about pro wrestling. That's the thing that, I was already a wrestling fan, but when I saw that, I saw this new type of wrestling that I never knew could be possible, like Loki, AJ Styles, all these guys, they changed my perspective, and I was just damn, I might be able to do this, you know what I mean? I want to do that. So being able to be X Division champion, that was that was a dream come true. That was the thing. And then wrestling guys like Ace Austin and Taurus and even Jake Something, who's a local guy in this area and stuff like that. Just being able to highlight pro wrestling and make pro wrestling fans kind of tune in Impact Wrestling and just show that we have some of the best stuff you could happen in the ring. That meant a great deal to me. So.
Yeah, definitely. TJP, the Iron Man match, also excellent as well.
Yeah, that one. That's the reason why I'm here right now. That's the reason why I'm Impact Champion, I think. I definitely knew at the time it was a big opportunity for me. I knew I could definitely hit a home run, as they say, with that, because TJP is that talented. We have such great chemistry, and it exceeded all my expectations. And it's going to go down in history as something I never forget. So.
Right, and you've had a long journey, 15+ year professional wrestling career, and it was at one point we didn't know you had gotten some misinformation that you may not wrestle again. So, talk about that, how happy you are that you did get to come back and that was not your, final destination.
Yeah, everything that's happened after I had neck surgery in 2014 is just like I say it to a lot of people because people have been coming around congratulating me on winning the world championship and stuff like that. And I'm just like, dude, everything I do, from like signing with Impact, winning the tag team championships, having the longest reign, the X Division championship, like the world championship now, being able to travel around, do New Japan, do all this other stuff, that is all just like icing on the cake that I never thought was going to be there, right? So like I'm just happy for every moment and opportunity I get, and I'm trying to make the best of it, and I'm just very fortunate that I was able to come back, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you had to take on some great guys in the area. You know, Calvin Tankman, you mentioned Jake something earlier. A lot of great young up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, Tankman is one of those guys that I think the world of. I think, you know, he can be very successful in any of the major companies. Whenever he gets a shot, he's just going to blow up. Hopefully, you know, he sticks with it and he gets those opportunities. And it's just the thing about pro wrestling, like opportunities come every once in a while, and sometimes they don't come to the people that are the most talented right away. But if you just have to persist and, you know, stay ready. So when you get those opportunities, you make the best of them. And, you know, Calvin Tankman, Jenk something, like those are two guys that are just high on my list of guys that I think could do bigger things in pro wrestling.
Definitely. And then let's talk about Ethan Page. You know, he's gone on to AEW. What do you think of his success? You guys still talk?
Oh, like, dude, we live in separate sandboxes now. We're two different worlds. Like I keep up with everything he does. I don't know if he keeps up with everything I do per se. I mean, it'd be tough not to, but you know, I'm just happy that he's happy. I got to see him wrestle Chris Jericho. I got to see him wrestle Christian. I got to see him have a crazy match with Darby Allin and stuff. I know how talented he is. I know he's going to be very successful. It's just waiting for those opportunities. And when you're ready, you just hit it out of the park, and that's something he can do because, you know, he's one of the best. So.
For sure. And to talk about working for Impact Wrestling, how much you enjoy, you know, working from them on the front office side, all the way to the talent, to the people in production.
Well, like when my contract came up recently, like I highlighted this as like one of the reasons why I re-signed at Impact. Like I had no intention of leaving or anything like that. It was just that locker room, you know, the crew, the people in the office. I just feel so comfortable with everybody. It's such a good place. Like recently at Rebellion, I brought my family, my wife and son, and just the way like everybody interacted with my son, and because he's an enormous Impact fan, like I didn't see my son for more than like 10 minutes on each day. And every time, like, we were driving home afterwards and my wife was showing me all these videos of people in the ring wrestling with my son, interacting with him, and like, my son hasn't stopped talking about it since. Like, it was like a dream come true, and he's never gonna do anything as cool as that. Like, that was Disneyland to my son, right?
Yes.
And like, I'm just so thankful that we have such a good locker room. And like, our locker room is like, I say it all the time, the one thing is that everybody there has a chip on their shoulder. You're talking like Steve Macklin, Deanna Purrazzo, Eddie Edwards, me, Chris Bay, Ace Austin. All of us want to prove that we are some of the best wrestlers in the world. This company's one of the best wrestling companies in the world. We can compete with AEW, WWE, New Japan, all those companies. So it's just about highlighting, getting eyes back on us. And, you know, once they do, we'll be able to retain them. I'm confident in that. So.
Yes, and then for you, I'm sure you're looking forward to Impact coming back to Canada, so you get that homecoming welcome.
Fingers crossed, man. The pandemic has thrown a wrench in those plans for a bit, I think. I think it's difficult for international travel for some people, but hopefully, you know,
yes.
it's fiscally possible for us to cross the border and have a few shows because, yeah, like you said, I've championed Canada and Canadian wrestling my entire career, and I still continue to do so. So
yeah.
Going back home with that world championship would mean a great deal to me. So.
Yeah, definitely. And you did get to have that interaction with Moose. I think it was Alpha One that we were there, or another promotion. Destiny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So you actually got to get a little bit of the Impact. They got a little bit of the Impact feud. Right?
Yeah, it happens here or there. We sprinkle it around. Destiny is like my home promotion in Canada. Okay. To me, it's the premier promotion in all of Canada. You know, some of the main events they put on are just absolutely insane. You know, just for giving fans their money's worth and stuff like that. And it's just, you know, that's home to me other than Impact Wrestling. So.
Definitely. And we're looking forward to seeing you back in Chicago. Hopefully we'll get the Impact Wrestling back in the Chi-Town, because I know that was a memorable match for you. You and Ethan Page walking out with the tag team belts and going home with them.
Yeah, Bound for Glory a few years back, and you know, Chicago's a wrestling town. I have wrestled in Chicago the better part of the last decade. I've been able to build a big fan base here, you know, through AAW, Black Label Pro, Freelance, all these other companies I've kind of been involved with. You know, it's, you know, as much as I say, like, Destiny's my second home to Impact Wrestling, Chicago is another home for me. I've had a lot of success in the Midwest, so hopefully.
Yes, definitely. And then Ruby Soho, that was a great match you guys had at AAW back in 2021.
Yeah, Ruby Soho is one of my favorite opponents of all time. I was lucky enough when I returned from my neck injury, the very first match I had back was against Ruby Soho, and I have an immense amount of respect and trust for her. I think she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, regardless of like female, male, it doesn't matter. Like she can get in there and compete with anybody, and I was just happy to have that match and a return to AEW, and yeah, that's one of the best matches I've ever had for sure.
Definitely, and let's talk about how you made that decision, that jump from potential professional wrestlers out there. You made that jump to do this full time, and quit your job and pursue it.
Yeah, like I could have probably quit my job like a couple years before, like when I originally signed with Impact Wrestling. It was just, I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have a mortgage, I had all this stuff, and it was just like, what if I get hurt? I had all this stuff in the back of my mind. I just wanted to be cautious and really solidify my spot so that I was covered at all angles. But I finally made the jump and did it, and like there's been no looking back since. It was a tough transition actually, because like I went from wrestling all weekend, flying home and going straight to work, doing no sleep, all this stuff, and now I get to sleep in and stuff, and I feel lazy, because I'm not like running around nonstop. I actually get to stop, relax, and spend some time with my kids, which is so nice. But yeah. It's the dream come true. Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some other promotions that run, 4 or 5 shows a week, so this is definitely what you prefer, right?
Yes, absolutely. I get a little more time with my kids.
Yeah, and you also get to do all the independent promotions. Think about when you're in with these other promotions, they have nothing for you, you're just sitting backstage, So it's great that you have that opportunity to go to these different shows when you're not doing Impact tapings.
Yeah, it's very important to me that I was still able to do independent shows, not only because like personally I like going around and getting to like kind of do my own thing and like working with other talent that isn't part of the Impact-based locker room and stuff like that. I learn stuff and I see people and I pick up on things out of these shows, but also, another thing is to come here and represent Impact Wrestling and highlight myself as someone on the Impact roster, and hopefully we can get some eyes from all these independent promotions to tune in on Thursday nights too,
yes.
Right?
And you are on the road a lot, so I have to ask you, what's your favorite convenience store? Is it Wawa? Is it Sheetz or Buc-ee's?
Yeah, I have no idea the difference between Sheetz and Wawa. To me, they're the exact same thing. You go in, you press a few buttons on a screen, and you get some stuff. But Buc-ee's would be better than all of them, because I remember somebody brought me into one in Texas for the first time, and I was just like, this is the Walmart of gas stations. Like, it's just, you can get anything there. So, and I'm a fan of their beef jerky. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I appreciate you being on Pro Wrestling Enforced. I'm glad we could finally do this.
We finally did
it. And you're definitely welcome back anytime if anyone wants to follow you, social media, and then I'm sure you feel great when fans are wearing your merchandise. So tell them how they can buy.
Yeah, just everything to do with Josh Alexander is Twitter and Instagram at walking_weapon, and I appreciate all the support. You don't have to buy anything. If you do, I really appreciate it, but otherwise, just tune in on Thursday nights on AXS TV at 8 p.m. and keep watching Impact Wrestling, because I'm gonna bust my ass trying to make sure that this is the best wrestling company in the world. So.
Awesome, and we love watching you do it as well, so appreciate you being on Pro Wrestling Enforced. Take care.